Hello guys, and welcome to a new Division 2 video today by myself, Vulcan, and Attack Power.
Hey everyone, Attack Power here.
In this video we have for you Game 3 of a best of 5 between Yamin and Mimile in the grand final of the Division 1 Season 10 playoffs of the Division 2 League. Today they are playing on Orsha East, and on our left in the red team, playing on the allied side, we have Yamin, using the second New Zealand with the Maverick deployment type. And on our right in the blue team, playing on the Axis side, we have Mimile, using the Pansaridivisioona with the Vanguard deployment type. So currently, Yamin 2-0 up. If Yamin takes another game, he will be the champion of the Division League Season 10. But what do you have to say about these divisions, Attack Power?
First off, yay, non-mirror income. Always exciting. I do think Maverick's a pretty solid counter to Vanguard because basically you end up with more points. The only time it ever evens out is literally the end of the game. So I think Maverick is a nice counter to Vanguard in general. These divisions, I mean, two solid ones. We've seen a lot of Pansari this season. Great mix of light armor and stuff, T26 spam, and then your Yaakaris absolutely dominate any CQC at all. Yeah, just it's a solid division, a great Air Force. Second New Zealand, great Commonwealth division, some unique and strong infantry backed up by a whole bunch of Shermans and such. And then usually a strong Air Force, but Yamin only bringing in one card of Boston's and some recon. Really kind of odd, actually. Both these players really light on artillery. They barely got any at all. Relatively light on AA. Definitely some interesting builds, really focusing on basically tanks and infantry.
It's going to be a right infantry brawl then. Let's have a quick look at what's going down. Yamin here on the top left, he's got the Staghound Mark II diggers and the Oblites. Then we have, or Oplites, I guess.
Hoplites,
yeah. Yeah. Then we've got the Achiomatikos, oh gosh, the Greek names, man. The Staghound, the Spandau MG. We've got the Casadromis with the Mari, the Oblites, and Carrier 50 Recon with the Bofors, and another Staghound 2 there as well. On the very bottom side, it's going to be the Staghound Mark 1, Mark 2, and 2 Mari. On the top right for Mimile, as we get underway, we have the T28E and the T26 as a BAFC, which is the B810M, basically moving ahead, with the Yaakari, Kievari, and the Lati. He's got a Brewster out to the start with the G50. There's also a Brewster on the bottom side as well. I guess expecting some aircraft out of Yamin. But into the center, he's got the Yaakari, Kievari, Maxim, and the Lati, with the Sturmi following up. There's going to be some Suksi Pioneeri, the Yaakari, Kievari, and the T26. On the bottom side, it's going to be the Klimi with the Taka Ampuya, Lati, and Yaakari, Kievari. Not much in the middle for Mimile, and I'm surprised about this investment in Brewsters at the start of the game.
Yeah, these wouldn't be that great even if there were planes. I'm not sure why he put 100 points into these. Kind of odd, too, that he's bringing the Latis in his Ford AAs. I thought they had like a something else to come in. Kind of weird.
I think it might be because it's Pansari and not the Richmar, which we're used to.
They don't even have a Kubel or something? Seems weird.
Not entirely sure. Might be a deck misbuild or something like that.
Yeah, a little odd, but what are you going to do? Machine gun losing to the double MG42 in the center. That really had no chance at all. He does get the Norse for free, Mimile, so he's got a nice early 1410 with a flag down south as well. Pretty good in terms of flag grab early.
Yeah, it looks like Yamin, like you said, didn't contest the top side at all, which is rare. But then again, Mimile, barely put anything in the middle, so it's really up to Yamin to identify that there's not much there and start pushing on as the Brewsters come in for some strafing runs onto the transports, but one of them getting very low already to the Bofors 40 on the back side. Meanwhile, on the bottom, the Staghound with the machine gun making short work of the Kievari in the building there. Takampuya trying to keep back the Mari on the bottom side.
Yeah, it's really just a KV-1, right? Down south. Should hold the line pretty well. It's got some nice armor on it. I will say one of my favorite tanks in the game, the T28E. Love this thing. Triple DT machine gun with an okay gun for only 35 points and 7mm of armor. Hard to beat.
The T28 It does have a really nice amount of HE on its gun, and yeah, triple machine gun. It can rip through infantry in the right scenarios. It's actually pretty nice. This digger is actually in trouble as it does get pinned down here. It looks like Mimile realized there isn't really much to defend on this side. He might be finding himself a 15-9 early on.
Yeah, that would definitely be huge. Although, again, if Yamin finds out how light he is in the center, that will be a disaster for sure.
So Mimile here really needing to win this game, and he'll be trying his absolute hardest to try and stay in this series. We've got more T-26s on the way, a BAFC, another T-28E on the way. So reinforcements now coming in to fix that disparity of units in the center of the map.
Yeah, the issue is Mimile probably going to lose these 2 flags in the southern south, or at least 1 flag. He will lose 1 flag here in the center south. Although his Yakari in a nice position behind the building, the only way he'll dig them out is by going and fighting them. The Yakari do wonderfully at that range. Down south Staghound going to pick on those Yakari there. Let's see if we can grab both these flags up north, though. That's pretty key here. Spitfire going after the recon plane. Roosters are gone, although I'm not sure how well they'd do against the Spitfire anyway.
Yeah, they'd be way too slow after the Spitfire. But the Dickers, yeah, falling back. More infantry coming in here to try and deal with the Yakari that have managed to get really far up. In the center, meanwhile, Yamin actually being forced back. So this is looking pretty dire, actually, for Yamin at the moment, I would say, as the Staghound also gets killed off on the bottom side by the KV-1. So, like, overall, Mimile starting off strong.
Yeah, I mean, T-26s are extremely obnoxious. They're actually, like, kind of almost criminally undercosted. To only 15 points to get an armored unit with a gun that can kill things way more expensive of it than it is. They're really nuts, honestly.
Yeah, the T-26s are very nice. And can really, yeah, kill a lot of medium tanks with that 75 mils of penetration. It's very, very nice. Meanwhile, in the center, though, Sturm going down to the Sherman 3. Very nicely done.
Yeah, it was the Staghound and the Sherman kind of double teamed it and did a nice job getting the side shots. BA-10 now going to go out. Staghound's doing so much damage right now.
Yeah, nice micro here from Yamin. And we'll likely get another shot into this BA-10M before it can turn its turret, because that thing turns it very slowly indeed. Does find the kill. Very nicely done. Now the T-26 is trying to help the Cavalry make ground towards this flag. Once they do get within range, the flames will land in their face. That won't be very fun. Nice transport snipe by the Sherman 3 onto an infantry squad that was going deep on the top side. But Mimile still holding on to those flags. Not quite a 15-9. Looks like Yamin has managed to avoid that for the time being.
Yeah, Mimile got to get back into this little complex down south to grab that flag there. The Shermans do counter the T-26s pretty well, though. They can easily kill them and, of course, can bounce shells and things quite well. Surprised he called in the Cavati in the middle instead of a Yakari, because obviously the Yakari are a little bit stronger once they get up close here. Although keeping just out of the range of the Katadramis Flamer, which is pretty strong. It was pretty great, actually, although Yamin looking for a flag here in this miniature town below the center town.
It's really up to Yamin to use the smokes here to get on top of that Cavati, so it can't just sit there at that range and use its Suomi to get the job done. We've got a Ju-87 now coming in for the Sherman 3 so that he can allow his T-28s and T-26s to get back in the fight, not have to worry too much. That is going to get its full strike off, but misses.
Ooh.
Unfortunate.
And he did lose this northern flag now. He needs a longer range piece of armor down here to like push off this Sherman and then allow his, T-28 to go pick on some infantry again.
Yeah, the bottom side, the T-26s can probably just move up to capture that flag. That would put Mimile on the 15-9. And I think right now what Mimile really needs to be doing is like capitalizing on his map position and really just start putting the pressure on Yamin as quickly as possible. Because if he allows Yamin to like recover a little bit, then he's going to have a real fight on his hands.
Yeah, he was doing so well of actually really making progress, and then kind of sputtered out as he started to take a more defensive approach to like hold the ground he grabbed. And it's kind of starting to nip him in the butt a little bit. Losing one of his T-26s finally kills that pesky staghound that was really doing a lot of damage. But now he lost this center flag, which is just one more thing he's going to have to fix. Boston does get through the ITPSV. Yeah, it's going to do a lot of damage.
Hit the tank in Toyota and the Yakari. Killed the tank in Toyota outright. Very, very nice indeed. Now the Cadromis going to have to push off the Cavalli. But the 6-pounder getting shots into the Sturmy there. And the Spitfire, meanwhile, takes out the G50. So some really, really good kills coming through here from Yamin. Really starting to catch up after the start of this game. And that is really not good news for Mimile.
Yeah, and Mimile's just, like, he's got this flag. All he has to do is drive this T-28 up. T-26, excuse me. Like, I mean, I know he might be thinking there's something in this building, but the line is too close for something to be in that building. So I'm surprised he hasn't just gone and grabbed that. T-28E in the center goes down to, the 57 mil. 6-pounder.
Yeah, the other thing we got to remember is 2nd New Zealand really doesn't have that many Piats for a Commonwealth division. Only the diggers with Piat actually have Piats. Like all the rest of the infantry that we've seen on the map, like the Mari, the Oblites, the Catasromis, none of those have AT. Even the leaders that Yamin is using don't have AT. So that T-26 is pretty safe there to take 3 flags.
Yeah, the T-26 actually just killed a Sherman, talking about uptrading. That's what
nice.
Makes them so fabulous. But yeah, in the center, things are starting to fall apart a little bit here for Mimile. He's not holding... He doesn't have much left, if we really look.
The one and only ISU 152 coming out for Mimile now. Trying to reinforce the center. We'll be able to fire position that down the road to really secure those infantry engagements into that town. But yeah, things getting back to a 12-12 briefly, now back to a 14-10. Just shows how sort of volatile Mimile's situation really is right now. As he is diving deep on the bottom side with the T-26 and the KV-1.
Yeah, and that's a good idea. That's what you can do with these T-26. I mean, it's only 15 points, so to capture a whole flag for 15 points, even for 30 seconds, is really helpful, honestly.
Yeah, the Sherman 3 coming around the corner, though, will help deal with that, unless he's a little bit worried about other infantry in the area, but no, manages to get line of sight just about. And the diggers with the Piat take out the KV-1.
Slow clap for that Piat actually doing it.
Yeah, he got the kill.
T-28 in the middle with the T-26. These have a chance. I mean, there's nothing here to kill them. The digger Piat, I guess, definitely could kill those. But, I mean, he really needs to get some infantry in here to recapture some of these things. I'm not a huge fan of this positioning of the ISU-152. I would have thought, you know, obviously up north he could have really used this extra long-range firepower.
Yeah, and there's been some interesting things like the Lati on the top side here, very top. We're all trying to sneak that through to the reinforcing road. That must be really annoying for Yamin to try and deal with. He's currently trying to strafe it constantly with the Spitfire. Let's take out another Lati in the meantime there as well, so at least kind of securing his backline. I'm sure the Spitfire will come around for another run there and finish it off. But yeah, things definitely, you know, coming back to the 50-50 now. The ISU 152, as you mentioned, is in a bit of a weird spot because he's already got the majority of the ground in the center, and won't really give that much more value unless he can get it to the edge of the hill and start, you know, really hitting Yamin from range.
Yeah, and like you can't really utilize the 2K range of it, which is something that 2nd New Zealand kind of struggles to kill. I mean, it's got the 17-pounders, but that's it. Like, other than that, there's no 2K anything to kill it. So it's just an odd usage of that because it could have really done a lot of damage up north. But now this little squad of armor from Yamin now pushing down south into the center, and that's gonna be a tough pile of units to deal with.
Yep, the double Wolverine Sherman 3 on its way to the center there. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, the Mali doing a great job with the diggers of keeping the Yakari out of these buildings, and every time they're coming across the open there, the Yakari just get absolutely toasted. But the Ju-87 is going to be able to get another cluster strike off. This time it will successfully find the kill, but the Spitfire right on its tail.
Yeah, these recon Spitfires are wonderful. Like, they're so great. They can shoot things down. They don't have much ammo, but they don't need much ammo. They're 95 points. They're cheaper than your average fighter. They're still super fast, and they have recon. It's an amazing unit.
So we just moved into Phase B, and this time around we can actually talk about the fact that Yamin now has the 170 points of income against the 125 of the Vanguard of Mimile. So this is where Yamin really wants to try and make a comeback, as he keeps getting those juicy ticks, and up to like the 20-minute mark and beyond the 20-minute mark for a while actually. Yamin will start to get a decent advantage in points, and with all the trades that he's got so far, I feel like Yamin's in actually a pretty comfortable position as he continues to engage this armor on the top side.
Yeah, I just you end up with a 200-point advantage as Maverick at the end of B phase against Vanguard, which is why I think it's a very good counter to it. The Sherman 3 breaking off combat with the Sturmy both got a penetration. ISU 152 does erase a Maori, so I mean it's not like it's not getting used, which is good.
Yep, and it's being followed up by the T26, the KV1, the Sturmy, just all engaging lots of different units here, making actually decent progress. That Sherman 3 having to come up the ridge there to engage all of these units is really risky for it, because they might get caused by the gun depression.
You can say it. You know you want to say it. It's hill pressure.
I'm not going to say hill pressure.
Hill pressure. It's hill pressure.
I would never say it.
It makes more sense. It is the best term ever, and it should be used. KV1
6-pounder
gets penned by that 6-pounder. Yeah, it's not good, but it does bounce the next one. Sherman 3 coming, though, although Sturmy has moved up to save it. Sherman does bounce off the Sturmy. KV1 down. Sherman 3 down. No.
The Sturmy gonna back off as a 6-pounder is gonna manage to get another shot off, but misses.
Oh
from
no!
That range.
And we'll get another one still.
Surely.
Oh!
The 6-pounder finding the kill onto the Sturmy with 1 health left. 1 health AT guns, man. They OP.
So powerful.
It's always been a thing in Stone Division. It really has.
Well, I don't understand why, because like infantry reload slower when they have lower health. Why don't AT guns reload slower when they have lower health?
Wait, do they?
They do. Yeah. If you never noticed, like low health infantry take forever to reload.
Oh, yeah, maybe they should do it with AT guns. That would make sense.
They're clear.
Considering it's like one dude, like
yeah, clearly it's capable of doing that. Like clearly it's in the programming, it's in the coding. So why don't AT guns shoot slower? It's
actually very interesting.
Yeah, I saw it on a Discord somewhere. They were like, how do they balance infantry getting weaker? Well, they actually just reload slower. They do the same amount of damage, but they reload slower. Never knew that.
No, I never knew that. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, I mean, commenters can tell me I'm wrong. I might be, but I'm pretty sure someone smart read that. I think it was Gonzo. I think I saw Gonzo saying that.
Yeah, we'll have to leave it in the hands of the comments. But meanwhile, the Yakari getting quite far up here. Do you find a stag count kill with their Panzerfaust?
ISU 152 killing off one of the Wolverines in one shot. Other Wolverine getting on target. ISU trying to reload.
I'm surprised the Wolverines don't just commit there, because the ISU 152 takes so long to reload.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. He had the...
And it's like the only one that he has, so like you'd want to get rid of it ASAP. But the 2-inch mortar carrier going to be trying to stress it out. And the Wolverine misses his shot. Oh no.
Oh, okay. Let's just say it here. 30% accuracy versus 45% accuracy. Okay, sure.
At that range,
the Wolverines missed 2 times and the ISU missed no times.
Yeah. I mean, the ISU basically has almost 100%. Well, both of them almost have 100% accuracy. But I think with the Wolverine, it's like, it was on the move. It still had the movement penalty.
Conspiracy.
I think that's the only explanation that I can come up with, is that the M10 hadn't fully stopped when it fired.
Or ISU 152s have a secret super buff to their accuracy. That's the truth.
Well, Mimile actually coming in pretty strong right now, especially considering he's not the one with the Maverick income.
No.
He's doing extremely well, throughout this phase so far, getting plenty of kills. I guess he's technically capitalizing on his phase A income at this point. So
we're pretty
a lot of work done.
Yeah, we're pretty deep. Now, the nice thing about Pansari is your stuff is really cheap. Remember, all the infantry are 20 points. You're spamming T26s, which are 15 points. So you can still get a lot of troops out in these later phases. Although he is starting to lose up north, which is going to be a big loss. It's going to be these two flags here, which is going to make it hard to develop, although he is doing quite well in the center. And pushing him off this hill is huge.
Yeah, T26, BA10M trying to shoot this Wolverine. We'll have a reasonable amount of penetration, I think, onto that Wolverine at that range. But yeah, nicely done by Yamin to get behind the Yakari and the Kivari in order to secure those two flags. Really, he did this towards the start of the game as well, where he just kind of constantly stopping Mimile from really getting full value out of his pushes.
Yeah, and that's just something Yamin does masterfully. I mean, it's every time you play him, you think things are going well, and then all of a sudden you're down 1,000 points. And it's like, wait, when did that happen? Oh,
nice double kill there.
Yeah.
From the ISU 152. Takes out 2 MG squads in one shot. A little bit of a mistake from Yamin, honestly, having both of those so close together. But yeah, on the top side, more reinforcements trying to come in, but one of them got killed in its transport. The stag hound now arriving there. Multiple field engineers coming in to back that up. But yeah, getting back onto this center hill with these Shermans is going to be really, really difficult, because every time he comes up the hill, he's going to have gun depression problems.
You can resist all you want. The thing is, the only thing facing him are T26s and BA10s, which means, well, the Sherman just...
There's another one.
Yep, well, I had to open my mouth again, right? Although
T26 fighting the sideshow as it comes up.
Well, this is what I was saying. T26s are kind of criminally undercosted. 15 points, they're killing Shermans. I mean, that's kind of gross.
So Yamin managed to sneak in a flag back on the bottom side as he kills the Yakari. Now fire positioning next to the other Yakari. Oh, Yamin, you're a god. Such a good play. The Digger's now going to be able to move up here and just surrender the Yakari without the Yakari being able to use their uber close range ability.
That is so dirty.
It is very dirty.
I would never think to do that. Wolverine max range killed from the ISU 152. No, there's definitely nothing.
Stop.
There's nothing suspicious here at all.
Okay, I'll give you that one. That one was definitely a bit sus. You know, but...
The evidence is piling up. 2 T26s taken out by the Sherman, though. Nice kills there for Yamin. Definitely clears out some of this armor spam. We see more T26. I mean, Mimile is committed to only calling in T26s. I gotta give him credit.
Yeah, he does have a lot of them. Even more in Phase C, and we've just moved into Phase C. So more T26 is going to be on the way, and plenty of them popping out of the spawn.
And I'm kind of actually surprised that he hasn't called in his T-3045s, because those are fantastic against Shermans. Like, they really shred through them easily.
I think it's just maybe because of the range. It's just a bit awkward to use them here, and you can kind of do the same at this range with the T26, especially if you have like enough of them that you can constantly side shot stuff coming up this hill, which he has managed to do quite successfully so far. But we are currently sitting on a 12-12. Mimile well ahead in tickets, has done pretty well with his aggression so far, but is going to have to keep an eye on things, because this top side of the town in the center is pretty precarious and would put Yamin ahead on flags.
Yeah, I don't think Mimile's going to be able to get back into the north anymore, especially with their lower income. Although Mimile continuing to commit singular pieces of armor to the north, kind of odd. I'm not sure what he expects to get done with those single pieces of armor.
Austin now coming in for a bombing strike, actually onto the AA itself. Will actually get the bombs off.
Aww.
The 40mm reloaded just at the wrong time there. Might still manage to shoot down the Boston, because those bombs did not pin it down.
No Stavaki, though, forced off. The field engineers will probably kill this 40mm Boker.
Gosh, that Boston very, very lucky there, especially with the IT PSV in the middle, getting some shots on target. But yeah, Yamin on the bottom side getting his infantry really far up right now. A couple Sherman 3s kind of just idle here. it feels like. Not doing too much to support that push, but yeah, they're making decent ground, and the T-26s aren't really going to be causing much problems for that infantry for the time being.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at the T-26 calling down south. This is not a good place for them. It's too open. I mean, the Shermans should absolutely dominate them. I would think you'd call in, this is where a T-30-45 would do quite well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The T-34 on this bottom side would be really, really nice right now. The Sherman 3 is now moving up onto the ridge to deal with that 40mm AA, and the 17-pounders has been taking pot shots from the ridge towards these BA-10Ms in the center. We do see Mimile looking to peek the edge with the T-28 here. He's got to be really careful because Yamin set up a bunch of these 17-pounders on the edge of this ridge, and making an absolute death trap for Mimile if should he choose to try and push off there.
Yeah, great thing to note for... I've never used this ridge before, and I definitely should. This is a great way to get back onto this ridge if you lose it.
Yeah, it does have a decent amount of places where there's 2,000-meter range. Engagement ranges, and he's shooting currently now at the ISU 152 with that 2-vet 17-pounder. It gets a bounce. It missed the first shot, second shot was bounced, third shot finds the kill, the ISU 152. He is going to finally fall.
The legend is done. Yeah, definitely interesting. And once again, we see Yamin with a commander as well. Something to take note of here.
Yep. Always liked his veteran seal, though. There's not like too many leaders exploiting that right now.
He lost a bunch.
Engineers, yeah. The engineers on the top side kind of being killed off by the Arkadi at range, can really use their TNT. The engineers, the field engineers, are actually pretty nice, I think, because they can trade for 15 points quite well. But they do need to get within that 100-meter range in order to capitalize on that. Boston is going to be coming in with its bombing strikes to try and kill that Arkadi. Only does 2 damage. Going to take quite a lot of damage itself, or it heads back to base. It'll take a while for that to come back on the field.
Yeah, field engineers are great. 15 points. They're basically like a suicide squad. And you get 18 of them in B phase, so they're so easy to spam all over the map. We do see a recon plane going down once again to the Spitfire, so more of that recon loss there. Nostavaki in the little southern town goes down to the Sherman 3, and that flag flips, and Yamin picks up his 1311 to try to start to chip away at Mimile's lead here.
Yeah, so currently Yamin plenty of time to get his tickets ahead if he keeps the 1311, but Mimile has built up a very nice lead here. If he can somehow get some of these flags back and delay the game, that'd be great.
ITPSV gets spotted by the Sherman, takes a penetration, should get out in time though. Sturmy trying to fix that problem as soon as it can. Sturmy should win this.
Yeah, it does have the penetration advantage. It takes a side shot from the 17-pounder though. That 17-pounder position is absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god.
And does manage to kill him off as well. Beautiful stuff. Sherman 3 is going to survive, and now probably just support the Maori next to them in order to deal with these Yakari.
Yeah, what a play. I mean, that's massive, because that Sturmy was basically holding off these 2 Shermans. These T-26s in like straight up fight against the Sherman have no chance. So once again, this position on this ridge is fascinating. I've never seen it used, and it's really, really strong. Up north, Mimile trying to poke his way back into the woods here. Did kill off the Staghound, and surprisingly, Yamin's brought no AT here. So this T-28 is kind of getting to do whatever it wants at the moment.
The 6-pounder is now coming in. It's going to be a bit late to the party because the Nostavaki are arriving, and they will have those Molotovs in order to put some pressure on at close range. But Sherman 3 actually going down here in the middle to, I think, what, the T-26, I guess it would have been, or the BA-10M, maybe the T-28
Yeah,
even.
I think it might have been the T-28, but we just saw another BA-10 go down to these 17-pounders. Just doing so well. But yeah, I'm shocked Mimile's going to get back into this northern forest. I thought that would be basically impossible. Staghound going after the T-26 should kill it pretty easily. Well, unless it misses, just kidding.
And now the T-26 going to be able to get some shots on target, and it's pretty much just a dice roll now. Who's going to get the shot on first? T-26 finds the job and finds the shot, and Nostavaki, meanwhile, take out the uplights, and the remainder of these low health infantry squads on the top side. Field engineers are going to probably want to back off for the time being, capitalize on their HE at close range.
Yamin's still on a 13-11 though, because he made a big breakthrough down south now instead. Only 3 infantry. It's not like he's got a huge force here, but there wasn't much here for Mimile either. And now Yamin on the 14-10.
Yeah, that Yakari is a bit annoying for those infantry to deal with, but Spitfire coming in there with the strafing run certainly helps things out. Shermie doesn't want to get close to these diggers, otherwise can help deal with that. Now more infantry coming in for Mimile on the bottom side. Yakari, Nostavakis, and Taka and Puya even left in his deck. Mimile now actually investing in a 150mm artillery piece as well. Not sure how long that's been on the field, but that's now firing at the Bofors. Could also be used to help deal with some of these 17-pounders on the ridge.
It happens to kill the Maori next to the 40mm. That poor person, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's had the 150 for a while, actually. He's let it sit for a little bit too long, I would say. Could have used it sooner. Up north, the 6-pounder finally in positions, hitting that T-26. But the T-28 did get into the woods safely, so for now it is safe, and the machine gun finding that 6-pounder. These infantry doing quite well. I mean, the field engineers are going to struggle against the Molotovs of these units, but once those units run out of Molotovs, they'll be pretty easily killed.
Yeah, things currently swinging backwards and forwards quite a lot across the map. I mean, we see Yamin make ground on the bottom side, and then we have like Mimile then take ground on the top side. Free field engineer kill there for Mimile with his T-28 on the top, and the bombing strike actually going to miss from the Blenheim onto the 6-pounder.
Yeah, and the Spitfire Recon finally went down to the AA of Mimile here. Although his infantry down south, letting his Yakari kind of get caught out here again and losing those. He really doesn't want to lose those. He doesn't, I don't think he actually probably has, I mean, I guess he has a C-phase card, so he's probably got a good few left. But he needs his infantry to actually get into the woods.
Yeah, and the Maori currently just sitting there causing problems. 6-pounder attack moving forwards on this bottom side will eventually get line of sight on the road, but yeah, the Maori do not want to sit there taking shots from the Stürmi. Meanwhile, in the middle, Nostavaki going down. We've got the Yakari again getting caught out at range by the Maori and the Sherman 3. Hoplites flooding in from Yamin. 6-pounder actually died on the top side before it could deal with the T-28. That's actually pretty big because that T-28 is pretty much uncontested there now.
Look at all the machine guns. Oh, it's so cool watching that thing shoot. Yeah, the Hoplites and Diggers don't have much of a chance here in the woods against the Nostavaki and Yakari, unless, I mean, they are at 4 health, so they might just be able to overwhelm them just by the fatness of their squads. Takin Torunta, though, takes out a transport on the hill in the center. Nice kill there. That Takin Torunta could kill off some of this armor here, too, if he could get line of sight, although it's kind of weird hill line of sight right now. Boston getting hit by the ITPSV, but does get its bombs off just fine. Bombs hit those infantry, but it doesn't do a ton of damage to the T-28.
Yeah, it has caused it stress, though, and it's going to allow the 6-pounder to pretty much freely kill that off, I think.
The Hoplites and Diggers get wrecked.
Yep, nice double Molotov there, pinned them down very fast indeed, and surrendered them. But the T-28 now dead is going to allow the Hoplites there to start pushing back up. Surrenders actually everywhere across the map right now.
Yeah.
But Mimile finding a 13-11. Which is good, because he's just going to want to keep piling on the pressure on Yamin, keep ahead on tickets whilst taking away tickets from his opponent, especially since there's only 20 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, and we're rooting for Mimile because I want to see a Game 4 between these amazing players.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Tank 2 Yunta now moving up to support the Yakari, but those Yakari probably going to go down. Tank 2 Yunta going to want to get in range with that Panzerschreck and find the kill. Diggers, meanwhile, dealing with the Nostavaki quite nicely from that flag. And this is actually one thing that we should probably mention for newer players. We can see here Yamin purposefully not using auto cover, so he can sit behind the building and freely capture that flag without being able to be shot at from range. Very, very helpful tip. You can do that in your rules of engagement on the right-hand side.
Yeah, the other option is what I do, where you can actually turn off auto cover in-game using one of the hotkeys. So if you want to pull off this play without turning off your auto cover, you can. I don't know the letter because I changed it, but check your controls. You can turn it off.
So Boston coming in with another bombing strike now onto the Nostavaki on the flag there. Not going to quite find the kill, but he was waiting for that bombing strike so he could push forwards with the uplights and the field engineers. Another Yakari just coming in time from Mimile, though, might kind of surprise the uplights there a little bit.
Yeah, the
uplights as well on the top. Going to get the better of the Nostavaki.
Boston finally goes down, though. That's a big kill because that thing has been a serious thorn in his side. Although the Tonkin Torunta down south did not get the Sherman kill, the Maori there spotting for it and keeping him just out of that 250-meter range. Definitely an issue there. And now the flag back in Yamin's hand here on the hill as he pushes back onto the hill. There's not much left here from Mimile, actually.
Yeah, the Sherman just finished off both the T-26 and the BA-10M that were next to that Nostavaki that's about to go down. The T-28 is going to go down. The Tankito Junta are spotted and being killed off. The Yakari getting transport sniped there as well is really, really rough to deal with. That's definitely leaving Mimile high and dry on this center hill.
ITPSV going after the unit. Now, this thing can kill tanks. Let's be very clear about that. It needs to get in range, but it can shred through armor quite efficiently.
Yeah, it's got a 40 mil with 82 rounds per minute with 75 mils of penetration. So things like that Wolverine will certainly be in a bad spot. But I believe this ITPSV has already taken a penetration.
It has.
It's only one more shot and that's going to go down. And it does to that Wolverine. Yakari in the transport once again might get sniped. They do another snipe there. Not good news for Mimile. The other Yakari getting surrendered. Things are falling apart in the center here very, very rapidly.
Yeah, it loses his Blenheim. It's just kind of like salt on the wound on that one. 40 mil should help take out this 57 mil 6-pounder. Sherman should be able to kill off that Sherman 3 quite easily. It does. There we go. Nice kill there. Getting back on it. Talking to Ruta and Yakari should be able to take out the Sherman 3, although he just lost a T-26 to another well-placed 17-pounder.
Yep, very nice indeed. Oh, 17-pound takes out, yeah, the T-26 there as well. And we see the Yakari taking into trying to sneak up on the Sherman, but Yamin not going to let it happen. The Maori already moving down to intercept. We have some uplates moving in there as well. Things back to 13-11 for Yamin, but he's going to want to get a move on, make sure that he is ahead in tickets by the end of the game.
Yeah, I am surprised we have not seen any of the BT-42s out of Mimile either. It's the 2K HE unit that Pansari has that's actually really quite effective, only 60 points. He could actually start, ground attacking right in front of some of these 17-pounders and clearing some space for himself.
Oh, the Sherman 3. I don't think it's going to get away this time as the Yakari find their Panzerfaust on target.
There it is.
And the Maori will soon follow to the Molotov and SMGs. So a flag back in favor of Mimile, but the T-26 in the middle is going to get taken out by the Sherman 3. Sturmy is going to try and hold the line. Yakari further up, waiting to ambush the uplights as they head towards that flag.
And they should do just fine doing that. The problem is these 50mm carriers are going to pin all these infantry like instantaneously all the time.
Yep. Since they have a 50 cal, they do pin very, very fast. You see Yamin there actually fire positioning that building to try and pin the Yakari, but Mimile backing off. T-26 meanwhile on the bottom side actually might be able to take a flag or two here up against these uplights because not too much to stop it other than, I guess, the 17-pounder.
Yeah.
That's up on the ridge there, so maybe not.
I'm surprised Mimile hasn't used his 150 and just kind of bombed that building complex to try to force that flag back in his favor.
Yep, there's a 150 kind of sitting idle. I don't think he's used it really as much as he could have throughout this game. Those 150s can really pack a punch and kind of act like barrage off map over time if you put them into the right positions.
Yakari in the town goes down, flipping that flag back. The Tonkin Torunta, of course, does not affect the front line. So maybe it'll get lucky and find a Sherman at some point. This leader Sherman would be a great target, but he's lost that. But Mimile did recapture his flag in the center there, although the push on the central hill from Yamin continuing to develop. And another Shermie here might help the cause. Sherman should go down to that Shermie. Not if it doesn't hit.
The Sherman 3 does have 3 vets, so it's going to have the rate of fire advantage in that situation, but the Sherman 3 does take a penetration And the Sturmy going to continue to get another shot on target, potentially.
Not on target.
Actually misses. And now the Sturmy in the town engaging the Wolverine. The Wolverine and Sturmy going to fire at the same time, but the Sturmy this time gets the kill. So there we go. Now Sturmy bouncing off the Sherman. Yeah, this is not. This is wild. This engagement. Go on, Sturmy. You're going to do it.
Sturmy.
95.
What are you doing?
Front armor. One really cool thing about these Finnish Dukes as he gets the kill is that they do have 95 millimeters of frontal armor because in real life they put concrete on the front of their tanks to make them a bit stronger.
Now, do they have higher side armor? I was actually just looking at this. I wasn't sure if they did because they have the wood on the side. You'd think maybe they'd have 5 extra millimeters of side armor too.
I actually don't know. I don't think so though.
I gotta look. I kind of wish they did because the visual effect would be really cool. But yes, the extra armor is really nice, honestly, especially when you're fighting that 100 millimeter penetration value. That extra 5 millimeters makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Hoplites finding their way through to a flag there, opening up the salient. Sherman 3 killing off the T-26. Going to be looking for the T-28 shortly after. Hoplites further down, engaging the Yakari. Nostovaki going to come in with the Molotov to help out. Meanwhile, at the bottom, it looks like the T-26 kind of just sitting around the corner enough that the 17-pounder can't quite get line of sight. And it's also the 17-pounder has come off the ridge. I think this must be like a Yamin doing a funky order there because the Bofors was on a follow order. He just realized that they're wandering off. That's kind of funny.
T-28 versus Sherman, not a good fight here at this range. Oh, but he does bounce the Sherman shell, kind of surprising. And now the Sherman...
Some of these engagements are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, no, what we expect to happen just isn't happening.
No, not at all. T-28 now goes down. The T-26 could not pick up the side shot, though. It hit 2 times and didn't pen either time. And now another T-26 is not going to change the math, and it goes down.
Yep. Takes it out further back. The T-26 closer, not quite doing the job. But Mimile still pushing forwards out in this top side. 2 Sherman 3s are slowly moving towards that area to cut off that salient. So still sitting on a 12-12. Mimile actually with a good chance to win this game. We got almost just about 10 minutes left on the clock. And if he can stay ahead in tickets, he will win.
Yeah, I mean, Yamin's running out of time. He's got to make... At this point, I think he needs to get some double ticking in. I don't think a single tick will do it. It'll be really close if it does.
Yeah, so the carrier 50 is still really being annoying for these Yakari. The Yakari, they just want to hide in these town buildings and ambush the uplights when they get close. But these carrier 50s are not allowing that to happen ever. And that must be so frustrating for Mimile to deal with because he's trying to get T-26s forwards to kill them, but then the Sherman 3s are right there to bite back.
Yeah, that's rough. 40 mil does find a 17-pounder, so that'll be a nice kill. Should be able to kill that off, I would think. Especially uncontested like this. There it is. Yep. All right. Nice kill there. Oh, he didn't kill it yet. Just kidding. We've seen this fail before.
He's so far
he switched targets.
Because the 17-pounder got fully pinned.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, in the top, the Sherman 3s are now just driving across the open, charging towards the lines of Mimile. I think Yamin smells blood a little bit here on the 14-10, looking for the 15-9. Probably realized himself that he needs to get a bit of a move on. The double Nostovaki that we're capturing the flag further up from Mimile on the bottom, getting forced off as the Sherman 3 comes up now to deal with the T-26. That T-26 might just back up to another Sherman 3, so things not looking too favorable here for Mimile right now.
No, he's holding on by the skin of his teeth right. This Yakari, though, could kill this Sherman 3 that's pushing up into the north. That would be pretty huge because it looks like the Sherman 3 is stopping, so the Yakari should be able to kill that pretty easily. We do, after all this time, finally see a Soka 85, a T-34 85 come in. Up north.
Yakari sneaking up and can take the shot and do find the kill onto the Sherman 3. So punished for going too deep. But yeah, the Soka 85, yeah, as you mentioned, will deal with these Shermans quite nicely. There's also a 50mm AT gun coming in as well. But I think Yamin will have enough infantry to be able to stay close, and that will cause this T-34-85 to be in trouble, especially against like the AT gun and the Sherman 3 looking for the side shots there.
Yeah, and these Yakari trying to push down onto this central flag a little bit here. That's a good play. Definitely an alternative. Sherman 3 up north goes down to the Soka and the 50 mil combo, but the Pak-38 left its APCR on, so the Staghound's going to limp away after getting hit with the APCR. T-26 in a fun position, though, too. Cut off a little bit here. The 6-pounder should... Well, if it gets APCR, it'll kill it just fine. It will struggle against the 85 at range. Although, yeah, it should... I think so.
Yeah, it's gonna just...
Oh, just kidding. Why do I even speak?
I know. I was just about to say the word bounce.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's like straight through the front armor.
Yeah.
No worries whatsoever. Oh, and a shooter knock just to boot as well. Why not? On this bottom side, Sturmy actually trying to go aggressive here, try and create a little bit of a salient. Taka and Puya might actually kill the uplights in their transport. No, they don't. But the Sturmy and the Taka Ampuya together will certainly start to do damage. The 150 currently targeting the Bofors and the 17-pounder up on the ridge. Now we've got Boston actually coming in for the Taka Ampuya there, but we are up to 16-8 now for Yamin, and he's going to be hoping that this is enough to get him ahead on to get some time.
Yeah, things collapse in here a bit from Emil. There's 6.5 minutes left. T-26 can't seem to kill the Oplites. Oh no! And the Oplites get out of transport just in time. Taka Mpoya gets bombed and killed. Another loss of a resource there. Back to a 15-9. I mean, if he can get back to a single tick, I think Yamin still wins. I mean, Emil still wins this, but double tick, I don't think that's good.
Yeah, just the disparity of units across the map right now, especially when it's like slow T-26s crawling in, is pretty bad. We also see the BT-42 now coming in as well to help support on this top side. So I think the top side here for Mimile is actually looking pretty scary. He could potentially break out of these tree lines and capture himself back a couple of flags, because between the BT-42 and the T-34-85, they can probably kill the 6-pounder. The Staghound won't be a problem as long as the T-34 stays alive. On the bottom side, meanwhile, Sturmy did just take out the Sherman 3, so there are opportunities here for Mimile to capture back some flags.
He's got to do it quick, though. The gap is closing, and he's got to close it before a single tick will close it the rest of the way. So
transport snipes don't help as Yamin once again kills another infantry of Mimile in a transport. Now, it's something that has been consistent in this game and honestly has cost Mimile quite a bit. 6-pounder finishes off the Sturmy on the bottom side, and now things looking much worse.
Yeah, Mimile just way too aggressive with his infantry with his transport call-ins, which is not like him. I just feel like he calls stuff in and he stops paying attention to it, and it's like by the time that unit gets there, it's like the line is like a mile deeper.
Yeah, so the Sturmy actually up on the ridge, I think, got killed by the 6-pounder as well. So,
it did.
Yeah, 2 Sturmies dead on the bottom side. He just got transport sniped again. The T-26 is looking like it's going to go down as well as it gets transmission damaged, giving the 6-pounder enough time to get a second shot off. And yeah, these salients are only getting bigger and bigger. Only on the top side do we really see any sort of chance here as the BT-42 starts firing its HE, but he really should turn off the HE and use those flame shots instead, because they are incredibly effective.
Yeah, I always forget you got to turn them off for that to work. It's very strange.
Well, it's because it's just 2 types of HE ammo, isn't it? It's just, you gotta...
I guess.
Maybe they should have made it so that they put the flames first.
Yeah, that explains why it never seems to do flame stuff for me. Thank you, Vulcan.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't know.
BT-42. The 6-pounder takes out the T-34. That's not good, because it means the Staghound can actually come forward to maybe kill the BT. Although there is still the 50 mil for Mimile. Another T-26 on the way there to back things up. So the top's still looking okay for Mimile, but the bottom side of the map
collapsing.
Absolutely collapsed.
The BT-42
same back there.
Yeah, again, these units, he should have brought them in 15 minutes ago. These 2K things.
Yeah, the BT-42s
they're cheap.
Are really nice infantry support weapons, and not to use them throughout this game, particularly when there's something that's like unique to Pansari. That are very decent is quite weird. Especially if you do use their flame shots. The flame shots are still very good. Like 3 flame shots out of a BT-42 will kill like a Sherman, for example. Their damage is still ridiculously high, even though it did get nerfed.
That's good to know. Yeah, and it's just like he kind of squandered the 2K assets that could have. I mean, second New Zealand doesn't, like we said, doesn't have a ton of 2K stuff. So the fact he didn't take advantage of what he had seems odd.
Yeah, and we're just about to see the tickets of Yamin go ahead of Mimile as Mimile's keep dropping very, very rapidly indeed. So looks like this is going to be commiserations to Mimile as he tried his absolute hardest in this game, but as you mentioned, maybe got a little bit too over aggressive with his troop transports and maybe play in general, as a lot of units, a lot of mistakes that Yamin kind of forced him to make.
Yeah, some troop choice call-ins definitely. Yeah, and again, I mean, Yamin's fantastic. It's nothing against Mimile. Mimile's an incredible player as well, but it just kind of felt like Yamin had his number this whole time. Even when Mimile was doing really well, there was just mistakes happening here and there all over the place that rapidly added up into a disadvantage that Mimile couldn't overcome anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. So T26 trying to help the Maxim push forwards here. The last hope, but Mimile surrenders. And after 48 minutes and 44 seconds, the Yamin is going to be the victor of the Steel Division League Season 10 Division 1. Congratulations to him. 3-0 in the final, a very convincing victory, especially in the first couple games. This one, a much closer. Mimile trying his best to hold back the waves, but yeah, nicely done by Yamin.
Yeah, great match. 5,350 kills to 3,955. It felt that way for sure. But yeah, I mean, great game to both players. Really thought Mimile had that one. Just a couple too many. These Sherman 3s were allowed to do too much damage, really, at the end of the day. Every Sherman 3 just has a laundry list of kills. And even though they're T26s, it's a lot of points at the end of the day.
And also, like you said, the T-34-85 just weren't there to stop them soon enough when they otherwise could have been.
Yeah, he has tools to fix that problem, and I just didn't feel like he really used them. So yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us, and these guys are the best of us. So great match to both these players, and congratulations to Yamin.
All right. Well, anything else you'd like to add?
Thanks for casting with me as always. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's great always to cast with you, Attack Power, and make sure to like and subscribe. There you go. I'll give you one more.
Yeah, it burns you. It really does burn you. Yes.
Thank you very much for joining me, Attack Power.
Absolutely, man.
All right. That's it for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the finals of the Steel Division League Season 10 Division 1. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.